next topic is assertive communication. Now, we need to be assertive when we communicate. We can't afford to be passive, aggressive. We need to be assertive. So, what does it take to be an assertive communicator? How can we be assertive when we communicate? And what are the traits of assertive communicators? Being assertive is like being a leader. You don't dominate. You take people with you, but at the same time you make sure that you address your concerns. You express your happiness, your sadness expressively, and not being aggressive because you hold things within you, and not being passive, not being scared of saying no. Alright, so assertive behavior. It's a sign of high enthusiasm and high understanding. It gives us a feeling of high self-esteem. An assertive person states needs, wants and feelings in an honest manner. It does not hide it. And that's why it doesn't erupt like volcano. One fine day you just don't burst because you've been keeping things inside. If you're assertive, you will state it clearly. And an assertive person is also sensitive to others' needs and rights. They don't dominate unnecessarily. And they first listen to others and then they talk. Alright, so what's possibly the body language of an assertive communicator? One, it's relaxed. Why? It's because emotionally nothing is draining them down. They're relaxed because if they don't like something, they believe in saying it and sharing it. And they slightly lean forward while listening to people. So they will slightly lean. So what happens is that shows that you're listening to people first. They maintain good eye contact. They modulate the voice, because that is an important tool. Voice modulation can bring the spark in your communication, in your delivery. But if you just speak at one tone, people will start yawning, which is a failure on your part. And they also question the other person while listening to them, because when you question more, you understand more. So if somebody's sad, you will ask them, so what happened exactly? Is something bothering you? Why are you this way? Is there anything that we can do to help you be normal and happy? So these questions will these are open-ended questions, and they will make the person speak. Alright, that's what assertive people do. Now, what are the traits of an assertive person? They clearly define their needs and wants in their communication. Okay, they have the ability to initiate, continue and terminate conversation. An assertive person has the ability to initiate, continue and terminate conversations. It's very important. You see, there are a lot of times that we are so lost in our ego, or a lot of times we are so scared that we cannot go and strike a conversation with people. We have a fear of rejection. Assertive people go out and speak. They can continue a conversation, they can speak on it, they will ask more questions, they will build on conversations, and in the end, assertive people can terminate the conversation. Now, a lot of times it so happens that there are people who are just talking, and because they are talking, it is taking a lot of your time, and you might want to go because you have other work. And in this situation, a lot of people just keep listening to them. Even if they are bosses, they will just keep listening to please them, but not realizing that doing so is wasting their time. As a result, they'll have to stay awake late. But people who are assertive, what they do is they are assertive enough that they know how to terminate the conversation. They will stop them right there. They're not afraid of saying no, and they will tell them that what's the reason that they're trying to terminate this conversation, and when can we continue this conversation. Now, a person who is an assertive communicator conveys respect for the listener. So what do they do exactly in terms of nonverbal? They maintain eye contact, alright, and they have an erect posture, clear speech, and they use facial expressions and gestures. to have a 360-degree impact. Okay, and they possess this quality and this ability to say no. Very important. A lot of us can't say no because we are scared, but we have to learn to say no. It's very important. And assertive communicator has the ability to ask favors and make requests. A lot of times we might want to ask favors from people, ask help from people, but our ego comes in between, our pride comes in between, and which is why because of our emotions we cannot go and ask people for help, which is not right again. And they have the ability to express positive and negative emotions and feelings. Very important. A lot of us are okay to express our positive feelings, but not okay to express the negative feelings. How to be assertive is the next question that you might want to ask. So how do we become assertive communicators? One is refusal assertiveness, two is expressing feelings, and third is request assertiveness. How to say no? Now that's a big problem to a lot of people. Even I had this concern earlier, but I worked on it. But it's very important because you can't say no, it kills you from within a lot of time. So how do we say no? Just say that you, so example, if you've been asked by someone to come out, let's say for a business lunch or a dinner, and you cannot go. So you state your position saying, no, I'm sorry that I can't, and explain the reason why you can't. You can say that I've got something else to do on that day, and then express understanding. You say that I'm sure you will find someone else, or I'm sure you can ask this guy, and they will be more than happy to accompany you in this business meeting. But just don't tell them no. You need to explain the reason and express understanding. And you need to learn to tell people how you feel. If somebody did a good job, please, that's a mark, that's a sign of a good leader. And if you are not at a leadership position now, but then you need to learn these things because soon you will be. Okay, so if somebody has done a good job, go and tell them that you did a great job. That person will feel nice and that person will like you. And if somebody didn't do something right, then you don't be upset. And don't just keep it, and don't just fire them and be very aggressive. Be assertive and tell them, that I'm quite upset by what you did today, and so that person will realize that he did something wrong or she did something wrong. Request assertiveness, which is to get information, clarification, and ask for what you want. Number one, state the problem. So if your boss tells you that you need to work on an assignment, but you already are working on another assignment that your boss gave you. So in that case, what you do, you tell them, say the problem that you have given two different instructions, and then you make a request saying that, can you let me finish one project before starting the other one? You will not sound like a fool. Don't be afraid. Go and ask them that, can you explain this to me again and tell, or can you elaborate a little more on this? Please go and ask. When you say no, you got to be straightforward and honest. But don't be so rude that you do not put your point effectively. Make sure that you keep it brief. Don't drag it unnecessarily. Tell the person that you're finding it difficult. Tell them that you say no because there is a reason. And be polite and say something like, thank you for asking, because they asked you. Thank them for asking you. Remember, when you say no, speak slowly, and there has to be an element of warmth in it, and don't say no just like that, because people don't really like to listen to negations. And don't apologize too much and give a lot of justification and reason for saying no. It's actually your right, and you can say no to whatever you like.